So here's a question for you. Would you benefit from ongoing support to improve your sales conversations and ultimately close more business? The Sales Maven Society offers you daily support for your urgent sales questions, an extensive library of bite-sized trainings to hone your selling skills, and monthly live coaching calls where you receive individualized coaching from me specific to your business so that you're able to remove any bottlenecks in your sales process. This is the most robust sales coaching program around for an incredible value of only $147 a month. And you can join now for your first month for only $47. You get access to absolutely everything, including the live coaching calls with me. Come check it out and see if this is the place for you to really elevate your business to the next level. You can do this by going to yoursalesmaven.com/society, hit the join now button. And then when it takes you to that page, enter this code, the number 4, the number 7, and the word trial, TRIAL. So 47 trial, all one word, and you'll be a member. I can't wait to see you in there. Now, here's the podcast.
Do sales conversations make you feel awkward or pushy? It's time to ditch the outdated salesy strategies. Your guide, Nikki will show you how to combine kindness with selling skills to meet your prospects where they are, and in the process, how to up-level your influence and income. Learn how to earn business easily and effortlessly. Here's Nikki.
Welcome to the Sales Maven Show. I'm Nikki Rausch. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Thank you for being here. Today's episode is a solo episode, and we're going to be talking about dream clients and or nightmare clients. Which is it? So first, I want to offer you a wish, and then we're going to talk about it. So here's a wish for you. May your next year be filled with clients that are just like you when you're a client. So let me offer that wish again. May your next year be filled with clients that are just like you when you're a client. Is that a compliment? Or is that an insult? How did you take it? So I've been posing this question to some of the important people in my life, some clients, some friends, and gauging their response to this question because I've been thinking about it a lot. Now, you might not be surprised that one of the reasons I've been thinking about this is based on some interactions that I've had recently. And I just sometimes want to ask people to take a step back and go, gosh, how would you feel if a client showed up and that was the way they talked to you? Or if a client sent that message, how would you feel if you got that? And I just think sometimes we all need to take a step back and put ourselves in other people's shoes. And that's why I'm saying if you got this wish that somebody gave to you and they go, you get a year of clients that are just like you. Are you going to be like, hot dang, woohoo, I just won the lottery for the next year? Or are you going to be like, this is going to be painful? So when I was testing this with a few people, I had one person in particular, and the look on their face is you would have thought that I had called them a very bad name. When I posed this wish and this question to them is like, is this a compliment or is this an insult? And the look on their face clearly stated that initially they were sure that I was insulting them. Now, the next person that I posed this same scenario to, they were very like, I'm going to take my time and understand what is Nikki saying to me before I have a response. So they were thoughtful. They asked some questions. They had some follow-up questions to my answers around it and wasn't really sure, like, why are you posing this question? And then the third person, and this all just happened in the last couple of days that I posed this question to, she got this big smile on her face. And she was like, that would be amazing. And I was like, tell me more about that. And she's like, I am an excellent client. I follow through. I show up on time. I keep my commitments. And I was like, yes, who doesn't want clients like that? And then she posed the question back to me, how would you feel if somebody said that same thing to you? And I'm like, well, my initial response is like, hot dang, I won the lottery, because I also am a very good client. I'm a great implementer. I follow through. I pay my bills on time. I never expect other people to be responsible for me having to know something or for me having to do something. Like, I follow through. And then I really thought about it some more, and I thought, well, there are times where maybe I'm not very quick to respond because I'm busy and I don't prioritize it. Like, would that be better if I was a little faster in my response? And so it did get me thinking about, how can I be a better client? Especially with this idea of like, oh, if somebody wished these people on me that were showing up how I show up when I'm a client, like, what would I need to do to improve? So I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself this question. Like, are you the type of person who holds yourself accountable? Do you keep to your commitments? Or are you constantly running late? Or do you miss appointments often because of lack of organization or for a myriad of reasons? But do you then impact somebody else's day or somebody else's livelihood or somebody else's mood because of how you're showing up in those sessions? You know, do you ask other people to be responsible for your financial situation? Because you didn't take care of something, you want people to issue you refunds. Because you didn't read something, you're not happy with the fact that they delivered exactly what they said they were going to deliver. But because you chose not to look at an email or read something, you assumed it meant something else. And now you're all up in arms about it. Yes, I am giving you some specific examples of things that drive me nuts with how people sometimes show up with me. I offer tons of value to my clients. I am very clear as to expectations and what they're going to get when they buy things from me. And when they show up later and they're like, well, I didn't know. The I didn't know response probably is one of the ones that drives me the most crazy. And it's like, really? You didn't know that? That's so interesting, because here's documented 9 different times that this information was put in front of you in different ways. So you not knowing, I feel like sometimes that's on you. Like, if it's consistent across the board, if I do something and across the board, everybody's like, I didn't know that, Nikki. Like, that's a surprise to me. I'm going to take a step back and go, okay, I should have communicated that better. But when I've had hundreds of people go through something and one person's response is, well, I didn't know, and the other couple hundred people are like, oh yeah, that was so clear, that's on them, right? So how are you as a client? How are you showing up? Because in this world of entrepreneurship, I think it is really important to realize, when you're buying from businesses, when you are working with entrepreneurs, you are impacting somebody's time. You're impacting their livelihood, their overall experience. And I always say in a sales conversation that there should be a balance of power. You can't hold all the power as the person who's selling something, because the prospect will go away. They'll go find somebody else to work with. And you can't give your prospect all the power in a sales conversation, because they will abuse it. And what's so interesting to me is how often people try to create an imbalance and try to abuse this idea of like, well, I'm the client. But in a world of entrepreneurship where we get to choose who we do business with, who we are going to extend things or make concessions for, you know that saying, like, you can catch a lot more bees with honey than vinegar. It's like, I'm so surprised sometimes when people come at me with a very vinegar type response. And I think, yeah, that doesn't work, because I know how to balance the power. And one of the ways that I balance the power, now this is just between you and me, so I'm just sharing this, keep it between us. But I balance the power in a couple ways. If I feel like somebody has mistreated my team, if somebody has mistreated me, even if they're a client, they get put onto a special list in my email system. Like I don't think this is what my business manager calls it, but this is what I call it, so she knows what I'm referring to. Like, put them on the jerk list. And that means they don't get certain offers from me because I don't want to work with them. And when people are really, like, I think take it too far, I unsubscribe them from my list. Even if they still want to be on it, I don't care. I refuse. I'm not trying to hold all the power in the relationship, but I refuse to let anybody else hold it all either. Like, you don't get to abuse. You don't get to make other people responsible for your stuff. And I'm really serious about this. And I tell my clients to do the same thing. Like, if somebody is mistreating you, fire them. If somebody is being a jerk, put them on a list. Don't let them get special offers from you. And I'm willing to give up whatever money that person might bring into my business to not have to work with them, to not have to then, argue with them later about terms and conditions, about, you signed up for this. I didn't take your credit card out of your wallet and put it into the system. You did. I didn't hit yes, I approve these terms and conditions. You did. So don't make me responsible later because you didn't do your due diligence, right? So think about this. In the world of entrepreneurship, do you want to work with people who are like you? Because if your answer is no, it might be time to make some changes. Because I do attract really amazing clients. The community of the Sales Maven Society, that community of people, they are unbelievable. I was just with somebody this weekend who was saying, I can't believe the caliber of people that you have in there. Like, they are so phenomenal. And I was like, I know. I feel the same way. I feel like I should pinch myself all the time when I think of the people that are in there. And this particular person was describing, she was like, there's this one woman and she's got glasses and I know exactly who she's talking about. And I was like, yeah, you're right. She is unbelievable. And then she just starts describing somebody else to me. And I'm like, oh, I know exactly who that person is. This is what I know about them. I am so grateful and thankful for the people that I get to work with. And I also do think that's the kind of person that I show up and try to be when I am in a group. I engage, I show up to our meetings. I turn my camera on. I ask questions. I offer advice when people ask for it. Like, how are you showing up in the world? Because it might make a difference to how you attract people. I know I did a podcast episode where I talked about, if you're showing up from this place and you're constantly trying to save like pennies and you're trying to nickel and dime people all the time, then if you're the person who wants to show up and charge these crazy expensive prices for things and then are frustrated that people aren't willing to pay them, you might need to take a step back and ask yourself, is this happening because I have this mentality? Because like attracts like. So how are things going? All right. So I'm hoping that this spurred some thoughts for you. I'm suspecting that I will hear from people who think that they were the example of the clients that weren't the most positive. I get that often. Chances are it wasn't you. But if you think it's you, instead of coming at me with a negative, you might want to take a step back and ask yourself, like, how can I show up and be better and do better? And leave people feeling really good about their interaction with me and see what does that do for you long term in your life and in your business? Like, we all go through periods of time, right, of learning. I know when I was younger, I could be pretty hot under the collar and didn't take much for me to escalate. And, I learned over time, definitely through my NLP training, of how to be better about things like that. But think about, how are you showing up? Because it will impact the way that people interact with you. Because when you're a client and you're showing up in this way, I can guarantee you people are not sending any business your way. Like, I do send business to my clients often. Any chance I get, I try to send somebody. I have somebody in my network that I can refer them to. But people who are, borderline mistreating or not showing up, not being consistent with me as a client, I'm definitely not going to refer people to them. Because I know that how you show up in one area of your life, you probably show up in other areas of your life in that same way. So if you're missing appointments with me, I'm not going to refer somebody to you, because I'll be afraid that you will miss appointments when they're paying you money. All of these things matter, especially in this small little world of entrepreneurship and online business. All right, so you take what you want from this. You decide how to incorporate what I just shared into this message into your own life, or if you just want to, hopefully you won't even have listened this far if you're annoyed by it. And please know that I wish you the best. I wish for you the most amazing possible things that can happen. I want you to continue to level up your business. I wish for you amazing clients to show up and to help you continue to grow and expand your own self and your own business so that you can make a bigger impact in the world, in your family, in your life, in your business, in all areas. I'm wishing you continued success. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.